Hello Identity 5 gamers, how's it going? It is time for another tier list, that's right. I made a tier list recently about what hunters I am personally up against / find kind of annoying to face, and now it is time I do the same with the survivors. Quick disclaimers before we get into the list. 1, this is just my opinion. 2, I'm a relatively new player, and also I am really bad at Hunter. I've only been playing for around 3.5 months, and I've only been playing Hunter for around a month and a half. I'm just very, very bad as Hunter, so keep that in mind. And 3, while there is counterplay to every single character, a lot of time I just might not know about it. I might not just have enough experience, again, since I am still relatively new. So I don't have all the facts. Just keep that in mind. This is just a tier list, more for fun. So let's begin. We're starting off with the Lucky God. Lucky God? He's just gonna want to go into tricky sometimes. He has no special abilities besides having items. You never really know what the lucky guy is gonna carry. Like, he's probably gonna carry, more often than not, he's gonna have Flare Gun, he's gonna have Euphoria, he's gonna have Pocket Watch. Like, those are 3 of the best items he can have. Maybe Football as well. But yeah, he's usually gonna have like Flare Gun as like his first item that he's probably gonna try and get. But a lot of the time, you know, they just have to rely on rock hiding because they just aren't really that crazy, right? He just doesn't have any special skills that make him stand out. I don't think there's much else to say about Lucky Guy. Let's go to Thief. Honestly, not enough experience. Yeah, I've never fought a good Thief. Most Thieves are just, like, they just shine the flashlight in my eyes, I just look to the side, and then I just hit them. Like, this happens most of the time. I should also make this clear that my Hunter main right now, at least, is Nightwatch. I've been playing a little bit of Fool's Gold recently. I've been trying out some other Hunters as well. But Nightwatch is really, really good. So maybe that will also affect my opinions on some of these characters as well, because Nightwatch is broken. So I might find some characters easier than others because of my bias view through Nightwatch. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, I don't have enough experience with this Thief. Again, like, he just shines the flashlight in my eyes, so my ability's disabled, but like, the fact that the flashlight range isn't that good, all I have to do is look to the side. You can even just go for like a turnaround hit where you know, look behind you, go for the hit, and then swing it back around and then hit him. Yeah, Thief is just, he just doesn't really seem that bad. You know, the fact that you can disable the abilities is also really cool, especially since it only takes like, I think, a second for that to happen, like a second of the flashlight in your face. It disables all your abilities. That's pretty cool. He also looks goofy as heck when he's running backwards. But yeah, I just haven't fought enough good Thieves to know, so he's definitely going to go into the not enough experience tier, so I can't really rate him. Next up is Lawyer, and Lawyer definitely has to go into 50-50. You know, his new buff, which he's also getting nerfed soon, but his new buff makes him pretty tricky because he has 20% decoding speed after he decodes a whole full cipher. He can get up to 5% movement speed and 12% vaulting speed. And you can't Terror Shock him either, so there's no way you can get an early down, like a super early down like Terror Shock on this character. And if you leave him alone, he's gonna Cypher Rush you, and if you go after him, you know, he's a little fast, he's got the map, he can usually transition and get away from you pretty quickly. But other than that, he only really has raw cutting abilities to work with, so if you're good at chasing, which Nightwatch is, he's not too hard to down. But if the Lawyer is really, really good, which again is the case for all the characters, if they're really, really good and they know what they're doing with the rock hiding, it can be pretty tricky. So yeah, he's definitely just gonna go into 50-50. Usually if you find him first though, it's not that bad, but when he's left out and he gets all his buffs, it can be really annoying. Speaking of very annoying, Doctor is very annoying. I know that this character is not good, right? I know that she's low tier. Like, she's really only there for self-heals, for body blocks, and that's basically it, right? But when you go up against this character, you're basically forced to chase her, because if you don't, you're just gonna have to deal with self-heal later, at least if you get damage off on her, right? Like, if you see Doc and she's your first target, you cannot switch targets if you get a hit on her, because she's just gonna run away and heal and just waste your time. What's so annoying is when Docs come in for the rescue, they don't have Tide, and they get a body block, and then they're just able to run away, heal, and then, you know, come back in for a free rescue. Like, that just feels awful. And what's super annoying is when a Doc is over-supported, where, like, you're trying to chase a Doc, and then, like, a Forward or an Antiquarian or Enchantress comes in, and they force you to switch targets onto them, and the Doctor, who might be on last chair, can run away and heal, and it just does not feel good. Like, the fact that she is just out and about, and you know that she is, and when she's at half health, it's just like, man, I should be chasing the Doc right now, and she's just gonna heal back up. And if you're a basic Hunter that has no chip hits, it feels bad when she just heals a chip, so one more hit won't even kill her. So yeah, she's just annoying. Next up is Gardener. I'll just put her right here. Tricky sometimes. Chasing her in the first 50 seconds can be annoying because she has the bubble, which is just a free escape. The breaking of the chairs, it's just, I don't think it's that good. I really don't think it's that good. Like, if I'm playing Night Watch, I'm just so fast, it doesn't matter. I can just find a different chair. I can just break the chair, put a person down. Like, it's very niche. It's so niche and it's very situational. And honestly, it relies on luck a lot of time. Because like maybe you'll break a chair and then the hunter will be forced to put somebody down. Then you can pop the cipher. Ooh, so cool. But like, it just feels so situational and relies way too much on luck. Like maybe you can break a couple of the chairs that are like really, really solid chairs for the hunter. And whenever the hunter repairs a chair and you place the survivor on that repaired chair, they do have a 10% bonus to their rocket chair time. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, otherwise, I just don't think it's that good. I don't really think her ability's that good. The main thing is the recall, the memory recall or whatever. When she gets the little bubble, it just stands still for I think for like 2 seconds, and then she's basically invincible to all damage for 5 seconds, which is really, really solid for Gardener, especially when she tries to go for rescues, because she can get in there and basically rescue for free if she gets the bubble off. So it can definitely be tricky to go up against a Gardener if they know what they're doing. But usually half the time, it's just they have to rely on rock hiding again. Next up is Cowboy. Cowboy definitely falls into 50-50 for me, honestly. Yeah, I mean, he's got lasso that can do a whole lot of stuff. He can lasso and, you know, zoom past you. He can lasso onto pallets for a good speed boost, really, really good speed boost. He can lasso onto people that you're ballooning and rescue them. He can lasso from the rescue chair. We can also body block the lasso onto the rescue chair. But otherwise, he doesn't really feel like he's that hard to down. Like, whenever he goes for the lasso, he can't use it for like 10 seconds or something. The biggest thing is that his lasso durability is pretty good. Like, he can go for a lot of lassos and still have a good amount of durability left. But yeah, at the end of the day, he doesn't really feel that bad. Female dancer, this one's honestly kind of tricky. I'm honestly gonna put her in very annoying, honestly. Her boxes are annoying. The slow boxes are annoying, especially if she gets like a really solid kiting area and she sets up like a good trap. A lot of time what I do is I just break the boxes immediately. I mean, by the time I break the boxes, she could transition. But yeah, the support with the boxes is crazy because if you don't chase her first, she becomes the best decoder in the game because she could put down 3 boxes and then insanely increase her decoding speed, pick them all back up, and then use them for later, right? Like, her support with the boxes is just kind of crazy, and the spins get a lot of distance as well. Yeah, this character is just annoying. She's definitely probably at the very bottom of very annoying because once you get rid of the boxes, she really doesn't have anything to work with because her spin relies on the boxes. The only other thing she has going for is when she drops down off of 2-story area, she gets a speed boost, which is really nice for looping, especially in like Chinatown. But yeah, the box support can definitely be annoying, especially if you're not chasing her first. If you're chasing her first, she's not that bad, but if you leave her toward the mid game or the late game, man, she's a pain. Next up is Seer, and oh boy. I fought a crazy Seer just the other day. I'm not having fun against Seer. Owl is just broken. What can I say? Owl is just broken. Like, it's basically just 1 extra HP, except he just farms it like crazy. Like, yes, it does take skill, especially to time owls, especially if you're doing it on the teammate. He also got nerfed recently, which is when you put an owl on a teammate, the attack recovery of the hunter is 30% faster. But honestly, that doesn't really seem like that big of a nerf because it doesn't affect Seer directly, right? It only affects his support, which really didn't change much for Seer himself. And it's super annoying when the Seer is constantly supporting somebody else, especially if he's nearby, because he can just keep farming owls. Yeah, he's just not a fun character to go up against. And most of the time, he's gonna use Owl to support whoever takes the kite first, meaning that the kite is gonna last even longer, meaning that it just leads for more Cypher Rush. Yeah, it's just, he's annoying, man. Next up is Embalmer, Aesop here. Honestly, it's 50-50. He's fine. I might just put him in tricky sometimes. The thing is, he just has the coffin. That's it. And coffin is good, don't get me wrong. Like, he's pretty good at securing ties, but I'm usually fine if I get a tie, right? Because it's a tie. I'll just wait until there's a match that there's no Embalmer. The thing is, he just has no kiting abilities. He's just a regular default guy with a coffin who can revive himself, which does, yes, push the Cypher Rush more. And if he gets rescued, he gets another coffin, which can be annoying. Like, yeah, the whole self-rescue thing is cool, but a lot of the time, since he has no kiting abilities, if you down him, by the time you get back to his coffin, you can usually, get him down again pretty quickly. And it just kind of bounces out, right? He just becomes a kiting character at that point because all you do is just waste the hunter's time by not even kiting, right? It just feels like he just feels like a free like 30-second kite, right? Like if you fight this character, you're like, you get a free 30 seconds of the game because, the hunter has to down him, pick him up, put him in the chair, find coffin, go to coffin, down him again. And yeah, it's like in that whole time, it usually takes maybe around 30 seconds. So it's basically like Embalmer buys you a free 30 seconds of decoding time. You know, that's usually how I see it. And yeah, that's annoying, but a kiting character will usually buy more time with that because they're going to use their item, and that's going to be able to get them to transition into a better kiting area, which will make the kite last even longer, especially if they can keep using more of their resources. Next up is Prospector. He's honestly in 50-50 for me. Magnets are really good, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the time they're reactable. The thing about magnets is they're reactable, right? Whereas a lot of other characters, they're just instant, right? They're instant when they go for their harass. But Prospector, when you get magneted, you know you're in danger, right? You know you're in danger. You know the Prospector's nearby. This is like if he's as a support. You know, when you're chasing him, he can also be annoying with the magnets, and he definitely extends kites a lot. But when it comes to harassers, he's just really not that bad, honestly. Like, he's good. He is good. But I feel like if I get got by a Norton, like, I'm upset, but I'm not nearly as upset as if I were to, like, you know, get stunned by Forward or get stunned by Enchantress or something, right? Like, it doesn't really feel as bad, especially since a lot of time I can usually drop a survivor when he tries to save them with a magnet. And I see Enchantress here, but we'll save her for later. Next up is Wildling, and I'm gonna put him in not enough experience. I rarely ever see this character. Yeah, I mean, he can use his funny Pumbaa pig moment to, like, shove you whenever you try and pick up a survivor. His harassing is annoying, but the biggest weakness of his character is what you want to do is just force him onto Pumbaa. The thing is, the first time he gets on Pumbaa, I think he can ride him for 50 seconds. Second time, it's like 40 seconds. Third time, it's like 30 seconds, and it just keeps decreasing, and it just gets smaller from there. I think it like caps at 30 seconds or something. But the thing is, like, what you want to do with a Wildling, if you're chasing him first, is bait him onto Pumbaa, and then just walk away. The thing is, once he does that, he has to wait for the cooldown, and he'll never be able to ride him for like a set of 50 seconds, right? That's usually what I like doing when I see Wildling, is I bait them onto Pumbaa, and then just leave. That way I don't have to deal with them riding on Pumbaa for like a near whole minute. Plus, the deconing is also trash, and his basic run speed is actually slower than the other survivors because he has Pumbaa. So yeah, he can be kind of tricky, but I just don't have enough experience fighting him. And as for Acrobat, yeah, he's fine. Mike's fine. I don't really have any problems with Mike. Yeah, he can vault over windows and pallets pretty quickly. Yeah, his bombs can be pretty annoying, but I've never really, like, I don't know. Like, whenever I get got by a Mike, I'm just like, yeah, you go, bro. You have those resources. Like, I know you have those resources. I know what you got. You have the 3 different types of bombs. Like, makes me slow, makes me not have any abilities, or makes my interaction speed really slow. And honestly, it's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. He gets distance, but, like, I never really feel like I'm, you know, getting aggravated at an Acrobat. It just kind of feels like, yeah, this is a thing I just have to deal with. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe it's just because I don't feel bad about being debuffed. I feel bad about being harassed. Like, when I'm being harassed and my movement is being controlled, it's annoying. But when I'm just being debuffed, it's like, whatever, man. It's cool. Like, he does have a long kite potential, and it can usually take a while to down him. But yeah, I don't know. I've just never really had too big of a problem with him. As for Magician, dude, I don't know what it is, but I swear the Magician player base is like geniuses, dude. They're all so freaking good at raw kiting. And they always seem to know the perfect times when to use decoy, because the decoy gives them a 40% speed boost for, I think, 2 seconds. They have invisibility. The thing is, you can still find them with their tracks, right? You know, the invisibility is a thing, but you can still see the tracks of where they're going. So it usually only like makes you confused for about a second, maybe a second and a half. But if you're in an area with bad visibility, I guess that can be rough as well. But I swear most of the player base are just insane raw kiters, and just using little decoy for like body block / speed boost to get to a better area, you know, it can be really, really good as well, because if you're really good at raw kiting and you have the little decoy to work with to transition, that just makes it all the better. But otherwise, he only gets 3 decoys, and he really doesn't feel that bad because he doesn't have any like insane kiting abilities besides that. It's just that the player base that it usually plays him is really, really good, at least from my experience. Next, we've got Explorer, old Kurt here. He's also gonna go into tricky sometimes. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him in chill. Thing is, like, the only thing he can do is hide. And like, I don't really care, man. Like, cause a lot of time I'm not chasing Explorer first. Like, yeah, he can get the pages, he can Cypher Rush, but I don't know. Like, I don't really feel bad if he's hiding from me, right? The thing is just like, that's his ability, I just kind of have to deal with it. But he's not like harassing me, he's not really annoying me, it's just like, oh, he's hiding. I'll just go chase somebody else because I know I'm not gonna waste time finding him, right? Like, if I know there's an Explorer on the field, I know I'm probably not gonna find him. Usually the best time to go after an Explorer is when they come in for the rescue, because a lot of Explorers will carry Tide, so sometimes I've switched targets onto the Explorer after they come in for the rescue. So yeah, I'll put him in chill. He's fine. Kurt's fine, dude. Now, Mercenary. Pre-nerf Mercenary, he'd be up here. But honestly, he's 50-50 now. I'm not even joking. He's actually just 50-50. I thought Mercenary was so annoying. Man, Mercenary was so annoying to fight, but his nerf, it matters. it matters, man. The amount of things he can't do any longer because he didn't have those extra 7 seconds to work with. For those who don't know, his Steel Will, his delayed damage, went from 15 seconds to 8 seconds. Now, I was like, when I was brainstorming some ideas, I was like, okay, maybe they can make it, you know, go down to 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds. No, they made it to go down to 8 seconds. They cut it basically in half, like a little less than half, but you know, it's basically in half. That's crazy, right? You have to be a lot more strategic when playing this character. He cannot body block nearly as long. He just can't get away with as much as he used to. And while I do think he's still very, very good, he probably is still the best rescuer in the game. Like, maybe Forward could have some competition with him now. Maybe Forward's the best, I don't really know. But yeah, honestly, just the fact that he doesn't tank damage as long, just those 7 seconds, man. Those 7 seconds mean so much, man. They really do mean so much. So yeah, he's honestly down to 50-50 now. He used to just be so annoying because I just have to wait for it for so long, but it really just isn't that bad anymore, man. Like, I am genuinely happy with his nerf. I think it was a good nerf. He deserved it. He was just too strong. Next up is Priestess. I usually ban this character in rank, but I'm gonna put her in very annoying. I think everybody knows why. Portals are just kind of broken. Long portal is annoying, especially if it's used for supporting somebody who is rebound kiting. So they usually will go down and then they can heal them in time. She gives like an Omni 10% heal buff to everybody, I think. And she also heals really, really fast. And she does have a 10% decoding debuff, which is kind of whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, the portals are annoying. Portal support can be like really, really crazy. The portals last for a long time too. Yeah, this character can just meme on you pretty easily. And she can also do some crazy setups where she'll portal you into a pallet and then drop the pallet onto you. Like, I know on Chinatown, I was memed on a couple times because I knew the locations of like pallets on the other side of buildings. I'd follow her through the portal, then just get pallet slammed. And it hurts. It hurts going up against Priestess. Her support is just really, really solid. And she's good at cutting too. This character doesn't really have too many flaws, right? So she definitely isn't very annoying. But again, you know, the more I've played her, she just feels bad, but not that bad because her portals do take a long time to recharge. Like, you really have to just get Priestess out of the game, you know, somewhat early, or at least in the mid game, because you just don't want to deal with her the whole match, right? Because you're just going to keep on supporting your allies if you don't. All right, next up is Coordinator. I'll be the first to admit, I don't think Coordinator is like insane. I really actually have a pretty low opinion of Coordinator. I think this character deserves a buff. When it comes to rescuers, I think she's pretty bad. Like, don't get me wrong, Flare Gun is really good. Flare Gun is really, really good. She stuns the hunter for a long time. But thing is, Flare Gun can be juked, it can be reacted to, and she only gets one. Once she uses their Flare Gun, she has nothing. She has nothing. She has good vaulting speed, and I think every 40 seconds she gets like an increased speed boost whenever she's near a pallet while the hunter's chasing her. So that's cool. So she has some pretty good raw kite potential, but like, if you're not good at raw kiting as Coordinator, what are you doing? Like, she just once she loses Flare Gun, she loses anything that makes her special. And what also sucks is whenever somebody's on a rocket chair, she gets a 25% decoding debuff, which is really annoying because a lot of the time people are gonna sit on rocket chairs and you want to buy as much time as possible while people are sitting on rocket chairs. Like, yeah, it's cool that she's a rescuer that has no decoding debuff when nobody's sitting on the chair, but you know, mid game and late game, usually someone's gonna be sitting on the chair. So yeah, I feel like Coordinator deserves something, right? Just something. Not 2 Flare Guns. That is not the answer. Not 2 Flare Guns. Like, why does Priestess and Enchantress only have 10% decoding buffs while Coordinators is 25%? Like, that's pretty bad. And that was nerfed. It used to be 30%, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's so bad. Like, it needs to go down to like 15% or something, if nothing else. But yeah, you know, once Coordinator uses a Flare Gun, it's chill. I don't really mind her. I like playing her. I think she's fun. She's fun to go up against. I think she's a cool character, but yeah, just didn't chill. Mechanic. Yeah, Mechanic's definitely a tricky one. Again, a character with no real kite potential besides bot body blocks, and a lot of time, she's not going to go for bot body blocks, so she usually drops the bot pretty early in the match. The most annoying thing is like when she's on the chair, she can decode with the bot, but a lot of times I usually find the bot like in mid game and I just kill it, and then like she can't really do anything. And again, her kiting is just trash. She feels like a dummy slow character. Yeah, she's just 50-50. She's really bad if you leave her out in the open though. And she also gets decoding debuffs the more injuries that are on the field, which is something that I really like. I'm the type of person who, when somebody's coming in for the rescue, I usually hit the survivor coming in for the rescue as opposed to waiting, sitting around at the rocket chair, waiting for them to get the rescue and then trying to down them. I just like making them force the rescue immediately by hitting them, and getting that damage spread definitely hurts Mechanic's decoding debuff. So maybe this is my playstyle that works pretty good against her as well. Okay, next up we've got Forward, who has 2 profile pictures here for some reason. I'll just use this one because it shows more of his face. I'm not having fun. He's honestly, yeah, he's above Seer. This character's so annoying, man. Forward is so freaking annoying. And don't get me wrong, I think this character is fun to play, and I think he's got like a cool design. Like, dude, whenever I see a forward in a match, I'm just rolling my eyes. I'm just sighing. I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna have to deal with football. Because the thing is, if you chase him first, he's got bad decoding speed, so it's like, well, now everybody else is cipher rushing me. And he can just keep running away with football. But if you leave him out in the open, he's just gonna come and support by stunning you with his football. And the thing is, he'll do this cat and mouse game where you wanna go and pick up your survivor that you've downed, but he's like, oh, here I am. And if you go towards him, he's gonna run away from you. But then if you go back, he'll run back towards you. It's an endless game of cat and mouse. You just have to wait for him to use a stupid little football. If you don't have excitement, you're just not gonna have a good time. He's well designed to the point where he has bad decoding, so you don't want to chase him first, but you also want to get rid of him because his football is dummy annoying. So it's just, it just puts you in a really compromisable position. And he's a really good assist character. He's a really good rescuer. He's a good kiter as well. The only thing he lacks is decoding. He's just pretty much good at everything else. Once he runs out of football, though, he's really not that bad. He has good vaulting speed, and he can struggle free pretty quickly. But yeah, this character is he's just annoying, man. He's just dummy freaking annoying. Next up is the Mind's Eye. Probably one of the worst survivors in the game, meta-wise. But I see a lot of people playing this character, and I honestly put her in 50-50. Just because the player base. The thing is, she got a small buff recently where her decoding was a little bit nerfed, but her vaulting speed was also buffed. And she has a very, very small kiting ability, whereas when she transitions from walking to running, she gets I think 30% speed boost for 2 seconds or something. It's really not that good. But yeah, the thing is, her vaulting speed is still really, really slow. She just is not a good kiter. So it's pretty easy to down her. It's just, usually if you leave her alone, she's gonna cipher rush you. And a lot of the time, at least from my experience, the teammates will help support the Mind's Eye quite a bit so they can get her back onto some ciphers. And I swear the player base for Mind's Eyes, they're usually really, really good at raw kiting because they kind of have to be, right? Next up, we have Vera the Perfumer here. I'm gonna put her in tricky sometimes. Yeah, I mean, perfumes are good. What can I say? But the thing is, they also force her back into a very specific spot, right? If she uses a perfume out in the open and you hit her, like, yeah, you're gonna get attack recovery, but she has to use a perfume and go back, and then she has to transition somewhere else. She doesn't get a speed boost after using them either, so it's just like, well, it doesn't really buy that much time, right? And the thing is, it also feeds you presence, which is another really good thing. The thing is, whenever you hit her and she goes back to her original state, full health, it can be annoying, right? It can definitely be annoying, but you also gain presence from it too. So it's not like you're not getting anything by hitting her either. I mean, yeah, she can definitely extend a kite for a good amount of time. She can also rescue pretty good as well. I mean, you could potentially get a Terror Shock since the timing for Euphoria is a little bit strict. And if they really want to try and get the rescue while Euphoria is active, they might be a bit more predictable. But yeah, otherwise, when I see a Perfumer, I really don't think I'm going to have that bad of a time. She's just like another survivor that has no abilities besides the freaking tanking of the damage. And a lot of time, you can just wait out the perfumes. Even if they try and be like big brain, like I've seen a couple of times where I've been juked by them vaulting through like a 2-story window and I'll fall down, but then they Euphoria back up. But all I have to do, just wait out perfume. That's literally all you have to do is just wait it out. It only lasts for like, what, 5 seconds? So if you're ever in trouble, and you don't really know what to do against a perfumer, just wait out perfume and then attack. Next up is First Officer. I'm gonna put him in tricky sometimes. The thing is, don't chase his character first. He's like one of the worst first chase targets you could ever chase first. No point in doing that because he has a long chair time. His decoding isn't good until he uses the watches, and he's gonna use the watches and buy a dummy amount of time without even really doing any solid kiting, just by using the watches at the beginning of the match. So don't chase him first. He's gonna come in for the rescues, and he's gonna have tide, and he has this built-in tide effect for 5 seconds whenever he is using a watch. So that can be kind of annoying. He can definitely go for some really awesome plays with the watches, and he gets 2 of them. But he really isn't that bad. He just literally buy time. He just buys time. No, with the watches, he just buys time. That's it. I only find him a little annoying. He's honestly not that bad. Now, Psychologist, Ada. Yeah, I'm putting her in 50-50. Thing is, she has no kiting abilities, but she has 3 HP. And she can heal from far away. She's good at supporting. She's pretty good at rescuing if she's at full HP as well. With the stress, when she has all her stress, she can be really annoying. There's several times where I have hit her 2 times before her coming to the rocket chair, which would normally kill somebody else, but since it's her, it doesn't kill her. And what's so annoying about Psychologist, if you chase her first and you aren't paying attention, you get it down too quickly, and she has some stress left, she can rebound for free. Because the moment she gets out of the chair, she heals a bit, and you take 2 hits to down her. So yeah, what you want to do is just wait for stress to leave if you're chasing this character first. Maybe try and cut her off of a good kiting area so she can't extend the kite for too long. But she really only has long distance heal plus 3 HP, which is, again, very, very good. It buys time, and if she's good at rock hiding, you're gonna have a bad time. But she is a 50-50. I think she's a well-designed character, so she definitely just kind of falls in the middle area for me. Next up, we've got Novelist, Orpheus, my boy. I'm putting him in 50-50. His new rework, which lets him swap spots with the Hunter, I actually think is pretty cool. It's pretty annoying, but it's pretty cool. He can harass it. He can go for some really cool big brain plays with it. Swapping places while he's in the pallet with a Hunter, dropping the pallet on him. Novice can cook for sure. I think he's so fun. I think his new rework is actually so much more fun than his old ability of just taking control of the Hunter. I honestly thought that was a lot more annoying. And the Metaphor's charge feels pretty fast when I've gone up against it, so yeah, I think he's cool. I don't really feel, honestly, I'm just gonna put it on tricky sometimes. I don't really feel that annoyed by Orpheus. Like, yeah, I feel annoyed. I'm like, hey, get out of here, bro, you're annoying. But I also like the character too. I think he's cool. I really like his lore so far in Ashes of Memory and whatnot. Although again, this should only be for gameplay. So yeah, he's going here. Next up, Little Girl. Oh boy. I'm not having fun against Little Girl. Dude, the thing is, I'm a Nightwatch main, right? Whenever a Little Girl puts down a page, it cancels your wind, which means you can't get any wind force. So how Nightwatch works is after you use, like if you're at basic, if you use the big suck for I think like 2 seconds or something, you charge 1 thing of wind force. That allows you to use Wind Walk, which gives you 5 seconds of a 24% speed boost while also being able to jump over pallets and windows pretty fast. And when you go for Fast Wind, it just charges instantly, right? But thing is, Little Girl, if she puts down a page where you're going for the slow wind and she does it pretty quick, it cancels your wind, so it cancels that ability, and it also doesn't give you any wind force, meaning no Wind Walk, meaning that your chase is even slower. And this is especially annoying when she is attached to another survivor. Now, I have one message for all Little Girl players. If you dare attach yourself to an Enchantress, I am going to scream. I will genuinely scream. That sounds like the worst experience a Hunter could ever have. Chasing an Enchantress with Little Girl support sounds like a nightmare for anyone, man. I never want to ever fight that. Luckily, I never have, but oh boy, it sounds like a nightmare. But yeah, Little Girl support, she's just annoying. She is incredibly annoying. The pages are good. No offense to Little Girls, but I feel like a lot of the player base isn't very good either. They're kind of, I don't want to say carried, but when you attach yourself to another survivor and they're doing all the kiting and you're sitting there, I mean, you're not really doing anything except for sitting there. And like, okay, Little Girls, why the heck do you attach yourself to somebody who's on a cipher? Just go decode your own cipher. Like, why do you do that? Why do you warp to somebody at the beginning of the game, attach yourself to them, and then just decode with them? It's bad to do a decode early game. Why? What's the point? Why do so many little girls do it? I swear. And why do you always get down so fast? Okay, this is I'm talking about as I'm siding with them. Anyway, when I go up against Little Girl, I'm not having a good time. Don't get me wrong. There are some big brain players out there, but I feel like a lot of player base just takes a nap whenever they attach to a different survivor, because I don't know, they don't feel like playing the game, I guess. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm getting really, really mean here, but it's just something that I've noticed with Little Girl players. Next up, we've got Weeping Clown here, and he's gonna sadly go into not enough experience. I'm sorry, Joker, but I rarely ever fight this character. I think this has got to be the character that I see the second least, only behind Aeroplanist. I have maybe fought Aeroplanist like twice ever, and I've played a good amount of Hunter matches. I've probably played like 100, 200 matches of Hunter, and I've only seen Aeroplanist like a couple times. Weeping Clown maybe like 5 or 6 times, but yeah, not enough experience. I know he has the rocket dash. I know he can charge it into people. I know that I can charge into the Hunters, make him slow, and he can also have other people ride on it. I really want to try and ride on a Weeping Clown rocket to try and rebound. I would love to do that someday, but like no one ever plays him. No one literally ever plays this character, and I kind of feel bad about it, because I feel like he deserves more love. And I do see him pop out in tournament every once in a while, too. But yeah, he's down here, unfortunately. Start playing Weeping Clown, guys. Come on. I want to see more of him. Okay, next up is Professor. He is going into very annoying. All right, so Professor isn't that bad, right? He's not that bad. I've been learning to deal with him a little more often as I've gotten used to his abilities. I even played him, so I kind of know his abilities. But I swear the Professor player base is just... There's some player bases, right? Like some player bases are just like good versus bad. Like I think the Little Girl like average player base is pretty bad. From my experience, of course, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying from my experience, a lot of Little Girl players are pretty bad. But a lot of the Professor players are so good. Like they always time their stupid scales, or as I like to call them, the pine cones. They always time it so well. It always stunts me for so long. and they're always really good at raw kiting. They always know when to come in and support. They always know when to rescue. Like, it doesn't feel that bad, right? It doesn't really feel that bad, but like every professor I go up against just seems to have like a big brain. Maybe it's because he's literally a professor. I don't know. I'm not too aware of Lucino's lore. But yeah, he's annoying. He's definitely annoying for sure. Next up is Antiquarian. And honestly, she's going in 50-50. Maybe it's because I play Antiquarian, but I really don't feel like this character is that bad. Like, she is powerful, right? She is powerful and she is annoying, but maybe it's because she looks so cool while doing it. I don't know. Like, whenever she goes with a flute, like, she is the one character who just straight up pulls out a stick and whacks you, right? Like, forward, you know, he smacks into you, Enchantress has stuns, but like, Enchantress just straight up smacks you with a stick. Like, that's cool. Like, I just gotta give it up. That's just cool. The thing is, she can't even do it that many times. Like, I'm pretty sure she can only hit you 6 times if she doesn't use the flute to jump or to dash a lot. She can only hit you 6 times in a match. And a lot of time when they do hit you, it's usually gonna be more than once. They'll usually hit you twice. Usually when I play Antiquarian, I usually hit twice as well. It'll usually be a side swing, then a vertical swing, which will disarm for 10 seconds. So yeah, she can buy some time for free. She can support really well. She is maybe the best survivor in the game, but you can also bait out her swings, and her swings also have some pretty long cooldowns as well. Now, I do feel like overall she deserves a small nerf. I'm not really sure how to nerf her. I feel like the flute is fine, but I feel like maybe make the disarm stacking time a little less. Like, maybe the first stun disarms for 5 seconds, but the second one only does like 7 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Because when you disarm 3 times, it's like 15 seconds where the hunter can't do anything. And that's like pretty bad. I feel like it should only cap at 10 or something. And she'd still be a good kiter if you only go for 1 swing. I just feel like she needs like a small nerf when it comes to the disarm stacking. Otherwise, I don't really have much of a problem with Antiquarian. And one last thing, I just think the word Antiquarian rolls off the tongue so nicely, it's so fun to say. Random aside, but you know, the word Antiquarian just sounds cool. Next up is Composer, Frederick Kreberg, my boy, my secondary. He's in chill. He's chill. He's literally got 2 things, right? He can decode fast, and he runs fast. Every 50 seconds. That's not that bad. They gave a decoder a kiting ability, which is, you know, what their weakness is supposed to be, but he has no support, and he relies a lot on raw kiting after using his tuning fork, which has a 50-second cooldown, which is, you know, it's pretty solid. If they really wanted to nerf him, they could, you know, maybe make it 60 seconds. But otherwise, yeah, he's just a pretty fast decoder. He can Cypher Rush you, and he never really feels that annoying to deal with, honestly. I'll put him in chill. Now, next up is Journalist. She is another character that is going to fall into 50-50, mainly because of the Orpheus body blocks. The Orpheus body blocks can definitely be really annoying, especially when I'm not playing Night Watch and I have to, like, you know, try and worm my way through past Orpheus to try and get her, or I have to, like, play her on the pallet, wait for Orpheus to disappear. She can definitely be kind of annoying. She also basically gets 1 free rescue, thanks to her little rescue ability, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, Journalist just feels like a solid high tier, honestly. She has a small decoding debuff as well, and I think she has a slightly extended rocket chair time, I can't really remember. But yeah, you know, she just feels like a solid high tier survivor. Doesn't really feel overpowered, just has some solid strengths. Barmaid, I'm gonna put her in tricky sometimes. The biggest gimmick about Barmaid is the fact that she can tank damage, right? She takes a hit and then she takes a swig and she's healing. But she also has a speed drink, which does give her a good amount of speed, honestly. The speed drink is definitely very crucial because usually you want to use a speed drink when you're trying to heal. And a good amount of times, they're going to be able to get that heal off unless you're, you know, pretty lucky with your pursuit. And she can also give the drinks to most of the other survivors. I'm pretty sure the only survivors that can't drink her drinks are Little Girl, Coordinator, Cheerleader, and I want to say there's one other character. I can't remember off the top of my head, though. She also gets a very small 5% decoding debuff every time she takes a drink, so that can stack up to 10%. But otherwise, yeah, this character has like 3 little resources to work with. They're really not insanely good. The other weakness is when you do hit her and she heals, you also get to farm presence as well. So that's something that's never really bad. So yeah, she really isn't too bad. Honestly, I usually don't chase Barmaid first. If I see Barmaid, what I usually do is I just down somebody else. Half the time she's gonna come in for the rescue. I just throw out an attack, hit her, show rescue, then go and take her drink and go fly off somewhere else, which is fine, right? I'm cool with that because it just wastes their resources and I just go and chase the other person anyway. Now, Postman. Where do I put Postman? I think I just gotta put him in tricky sometimes. I don't think he's that bad. The thing about Postman is, like, he does the buffs, and he just raw kites. And he can also throw a wick at you, his dog. He can throw a wick at you, which slows you down for like 5 seconds, but you can just sidestep the dog. it's really easy to dodge. Like, there's a good amount of locations where when he throws out Wick, you can't really dodge it. A good example is when you're chasing and getting looped in Red Church. I got looped by a Postman that just kept spamming Wick every time I flew into Red Church. But I also wasn't playing Night Watch. I think I was playing a very slow Hunter, so he actually just kind of destroyed me like that. I think I was probably playing Nightmare or something. So yeah, that was a bad experience. But otherwise, I think he's a pretty cool survivor, and he's really not too bad to deal with. Next, we have Gravekeeper, Andrew here. I'll put him in 50-50. The shovels are annoying. He only gets 2 of them. And if you hit him, he completely loses that shovel, so he basically is able to tank some damage. Now, he's a decent rescuer when he comes on in. It basically forces you to hit the shovel. That way they can, you know, rescue the other survivor. But a lot of time, I'm just hitting somebody anyway, just to spread out damage. And if he gets the rescue, he's going to have tide, so I just hit him, then hit the other character, and then he's going to come back in. I just waste his resources, right? I don't know. Like, as a rescuer, he doesn't feel as strong as Merc or Forward, but he's still pretty solid. I can literally put him in 50-50, because while he's also in the ground, he can't interact with pallets or windows too much. He can go under pallets, but like he can't put them down or anything. So yeah, he's not that bad. Even if you have to chase him early, he's really not that bad. Next up, we've got Prisoner here, Luca. You know, I'll put him in tricky sometimes. I think Luca's probably the most played survivor. Like, whenever I look at statistics for like most played characters, Prisoner's usually at the top. He was probably my first main when I first started as well, because, you know, he's one of the characters you can get for free. I also had the Rantaro skin, so I definitely wanted to get Prisoner. And he's fun. He's a fun character. He's got the stun to work with. He doesn't have any natural debuffs. He's got the long distance decoding to help out your friends. You can prime a Cypher from far away. Like, he's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool character. It is kind of annoying to see him as often as I do, because I feel like rank, there's like a 50% chance that he's gonna show up. Like, he is so popular in rank, and I don't know why, because he's not like insane. Like, I never see Luca played in tournament, and his stun can be annoying, but if he uses the stun to drop somebody, all I have to do is swing out a hitbox and you're gonna hit. You're gonna be able to down them again, so the stun only buys like 10 seconds if you try and stun somebody on the balloons. The only time when it gets tricky is when he goes for a stun and then he body blocks. Like, that can be rough, but at the same time, if your decoder is sitting there supporting and body blocking, I'm kind of cool with that, right? Because he gets a 10% decoding buff whenever he has, or whenever he's decoding a cipher that's connected to another cipher. So when your decoder's not decoding, like, I'm cool with that. Go ahead. The only issue is there are some prisoners that are really, really good at kiting, because they kind of have to be, since a lot of time they'll be the first chase, since they are the decoder after all. So yeah, a good amount of them know how to kite pretty well, and a lot of them also use their stun on reaction to your attack, which can be pretty annoying as well. But that's just why he's a tricky sometimes. He's definitely not like any of these 3 tiers though. And next up, we have Entomologist, Melly. She can do no wrong, bro. I'm actually adding a new tier. This is the can do no wrong tier. I am not biased in the slightest. Entomologist, I never am annoyed whenever I see Melly. All I feel is joy. If she uses her bees on me, that's cool. You know, if an Entomologist is playing well, all I can do is just be happy, because it's like, yo, more people playing Entomologist. She can't do anything wrong. No bias, though. Definitely no bias. It's not like I made this character or anything. Next up is Painter. Painter's chill. Yeah, he's chill. I kind of like Painter. He's not very good. Like, the paintings are kind of annoying. The biggest thing I don't like about Painter, though, is his like passive chair ability, where he doesn't have a half chair mark, which is really, really good, because you can kind of choose and pick when you want to rescue him. And it's not like crucial to rescue him at any point, like, because you can rescue him when he only has 10 seconds left on chair, and then when he gets put back on the chair, he still has another 10 seconds before he's eliminated. So that can be really annoying. That's honestly probably the worst part about Painter, is like the fact that chair guarding isn't really good against him. And the paintings can be annoying too. I've actually learned how to look away from the paintings and just try and circle around it until I can just down him. Then I go and look at the painting. And he also gets 2% speed boost every time he puts down a painting, so that's also pretty cool as well. But yeah, I think he's fine. Yeah, I don't really feel annoyed when I go up against the Painter. I think he's cool. I can't really say the same for Batter though. Batter, he's definitely got a high skill ceiling, but he is a character that is pretty tricky, because he's always gonna support, and he can definitely be annoying. He can definitely drop people, but a lot of time, I feel like whenever he hits me and the survivor gets dropped, I just hit them again and they just fall. Like, yeah, when he's on a rampage, that can be bad, but then he loses his balls when he shoots them while on a rampage. So yeah, I'll put him in 50-50. A lot of the time when I'm playing Survivor and there's a batter to help me, I'm just like, thank you so much, bro, because he's so good at helping. Like, Ganji, his support, it's so freaking good, dude. And I also kind of pop off when I see him too. He's a pretty cool character. But yeah, he's definitely not like as annoying as these ones up here, in my opinion. Next up is Patient. And Patient is also going to go into tricky sometimes. Yeah. He's a tricky sometimes. He's got 3 hooks to work with, but there's a lot of counterplay to the hooks. You can get stuck on stuff easily. If you stand in front of him, it disables it. If you hit him, it disables the hook. But when he does get hooked, it gets a lot of distance. But the thing is, I usually just don't chase patients early game, and they end up using their hooks in the late game, which doesn't really matter because I'll have the tension, and then I just kill them. I don't know. He could definitely buy a lot of time with some really, really good hook placements. I've seen some crazy hook placement montages that'll buy you a ton of time. But yeah, otherwise, I think he's fine. You know, I don't think this character needs like any buffs or nerfs. He just feels like a well-balanced, cool character to fight, in my opinion. So yeah, he goes into tricky sometimes because, again, you know, those hooks, they can get a lot of distance and it can be pretty annoying to chase him down. All right, second to last survivor here, we have Anne, Toy Merchant. I'm sorry, Toy Merchant fans, but she's at the very top of very annoying. She's just barely avoiding I am not having fun, but this character has she just makes use of the map so well, right? She can support her teammates with items. She has 2 catapults, and whenever she drops down from a 2-story area, she can fly, and that just extends kites. And she can fly whenever she jumps off of a catapult, which extends kites, and she can launch catapults into really good locations, such as 2-story areas, lots of different places on Hospital. Like Toy Merchant on Hospital, bro, like just give up, man. Like, she is a good kiter, she is a good supporter, she is neutral at decoding, and she is a good rescuer. Like, this character doesn't really have any flaws, I feel like. Like, for some reason, they decided not to give this character any debuffs. Like, I think, no offense, Toy Merchant mains, I think this character needs a decoding debuff. Because she is so good. She has fast chest opening speed, she can carry items to help out her teammates, she can fly, she has 2 catapults, and no debuff at all? No passive debuff? Like, no slow vaulting speed, no bad decoding speed, like, no nothing? She needs something. That's my thought. I think she needs a nerf. Toy Merchant is just too good. If you want to keep her support at maximum, lower her decoding. Like, in my opinion, give her a 10%, 15%, maybe even 20% decoding debuff. That way she focuses more on her supportive role and is less powerful at decoding, right? You know, that's basically the same as forward. You know, he's an insanely good supporter, insanely good rescuer, insanely good kiter, but not good at decoding. Whereas Toy Merchant is decent at rescuing, decent at kiting, really good at supporting, and neutral in decoding. No debuffs at all. She needs something. She needs like a small decoding debuff or something because her support is just too freaking good, man. And finally, Enchantress. Oh, Enchantress, my non-beloved. She is, in my opinion, the most annoying survivor in the game because she just has stuns. You know, she charges stuns whenever you're chasing her, and if she's good at rock hiding, that equals more stuns. You know what stuns are good for? Transitioning. She could transition for free if she just does a little bitty stun. And when you hit her, she gets a stun. Whenever you hit her with a chip hit, she gets a stun. Whenever she gets healed and you hit the other person who healed her, guess what? She gets a stun. If she has 3 charges, oh, big stun. She's just stun the character. And if she gets any support at all, oh my gosh, man, you just don't want to play the game anymore. You really just don't. You know, you see what I'm seeing here? All these characters here can kite and can support. The thing that I find most annoying is support in this game. See how the lower you go down the tier list, the less people have supportive abilities? Oh my gosh, it's just like this character can't support. Oops. Can support. You know, it's like everybody up here can support. It's the support characters, in my opinion, that are the most annoying in the game. Because while Enchantress is a good kiter, she can also rescue with her stuns, she can also assist with her stuns, and she only has a 10% decoding debuff, which isn't even that bad. But yeah, if I ever see any of these 4 characters in a match, I just know I am not going to have a good time at all, man. Alright, so I messed up. I actually forgot 2 characters, that of course being Aeroplanist and Cheerleader. So unfortunately, I don't end with the funny Enchantress bit. But yeah, for Aeroplanist, he falls into not enough experience. Because like I said earlier, kind of like with Weeping Clown, I've literally fought against this character twice. I literally never fight him. Like, I get he has like 2, whatever he has, like his ability, like not little jetpacks. He basically has like 3 gusts of wind, right? And he can go up, like left or right, or like forward and backward. And you have to like face in different directions, depending on which directions your air blasts are gonna go in. I don't really know too much about him. honestly. I literally never see this character, despite him being a relatively new character as well, which is weird, because you think more people would be playing him. I think he honestly just, I don't know, I really don't see anybody playing him. I'm not really sure why. I might actually give him a try myself, just because, like, I want to know more about him, because I literally never see him as a survivor and as a hunter. And as for Cheerleader, I am sorry, Lily. I think she's cool, but she's gonna go into very annoying. This character just has so much. This character has so much. She has the 2 pom-poms that give her a massive speed boost. I think it's like 70% for 4 seconds or something. Then like she slows down for 4 seconds or something like that. Which is, you know, it's like, you know, it balances out. So she goes fast, but then she goes slow. But the thing is, she gets so much distance in that time, in that like 70% speed boost, which is a crazy big speed boost. And then she can just hide behind a pallet when she's slow, right? All she has to do is drop down a pallet or vault over a window. And most of the time, you know, hunters break pallets within an average of like, what, 2.5 seconds, unless they have fast pallet breaking speed, so around 2 seconds. So dropping the pallet, they have to get to the pallet, then drop it, and then once they're like, you know, finally getting caught up to you, like Lily will already be able to move again. Here's the thing, if you're ever in like extreme danger and you have 2 pom-poms, all you have to do is use the encourage onto yourself, recharge your cooldown, and then just go beep beep again and just go flying. So she can literally cancel the slowness of it by just going beep beep, funny moment. Like, the way, like, for herself, if she's only supporting herself, she's kind of crazy. But when she starts cheering other people as well, that's when it gets pretty rough, because she can extend kites a lot. And if she has 28 encouragements on a survivor, if they get down, they can revive. They can just revive themselves. So that's pretty annoying. She's the only character who can just instant revive people. Like, that's kind of broken. Like, yes, she does have to be nearby them. She does have to cheer them on for a long time. And the good thing about when she's cheering somebody is she's not on a cipher, right? But it's bad when it's like mid-game or late game when she starts cheering somebody on, because then it just extends the kite by so much. Because usually how the matches work, right? You're going to have 1 person cutting, 3 people decoding. Let's say they all decode their ciphers. Cheerleader comes in to support the kiter, and then the other 2 focus on decoding. And then what do? You have to get your down, but while Cheerleader is supporting, she's just going cheer, 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 and then once it gets to 28, boom, they can just revive, and then you have to just do it all over again. And it sucks. It freaking sucks. She's very annoying. Luckily, I have only had to deal with her revivability 1 time, but man, it can be really annoying, especially like in the late game. And while I think her abilities are pretty cool, I think they're a little too strong, so I would like to see a small nerf onto this character. Maybe make it so that she can't cancel the pom-pom like slowdown part. Like maybe make it so like whenever she uses her pom-poms, she has to stay slow for that amount of time. She can't just like instantly recharge it herself. Or maybe make it so that the revive takes more encouragement, so it forces her to stay around longer. I don't know. I just think she needs a small nerf, because the only debuff she has is a 10% decoding debuff, and that's it. Otherwise, I just think she needs to be toned down just a little bit. So yeah, that's the Survivor tier list with what survivors I am good against / find annoying. So let me know what you think. Let me know what survivors you find to be easy to go up against and maybe difficult to go up against, what opinions differ from mine, and if you have any advice on fighting some of the characters, like especially on the higher tiers, definitely let me know. I mean, Doctor's really not so bad. I kind of get the picture with Doctor. She's annoying. But yeah, if you have any advice on like how to deal with some of these characters, just let me know in the comments. I do appreciate any information that I can get. So yeah, once again, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you all later. I hope you have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.